Ladies and gentlemen, the Hustler of the Year, Lido Takeover!
Hustle of the Year, Lido Takeover. We appreciate y'all for tuning into another episode of the Takeover Files. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Ben Sturdy, y'all. We got a new sponsor to introduce, man. Shout out Ben Sturdy, my dude, Yada Bear. Shout out to the whole gang. They just laced us with a whole bunch of new merch, and they just dropped that bag off. So make sure y'all go tap in Big Sturdy, man. My dog.
What's happening?
Tyree Evans.
Man, I appreciate it.
The one and only, bro. Before I do say these, I just want to say, bro, you are so necessary. You feel me? To our world, to our community, for our youth. Bro, I'm going to speak on behalf of our people. We appreciate everything you're doing out here, bro. And from the outside looking in, before meeting you, just always seemed genuine as hell. Like, yo, this is a super genuine dude, you feel me? Don't want nothing but to give back to his people. And then, finding out that you're an educator as well, that's a soft spot for me. I was a teacher, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, bro, I appreciate you for tapping in, bro.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, champ, man. That mean the world to me, man. As long as somebody paying attention to you, that's all you can ask for.
No, and things like that show, everybody, bro, we never know who's in these views. We never know who's in these views. Sometimes, some people just waiting to see the person in person.
Yeah.
Some people just wait for that ice to be broken. So I'm happy we able to get here. So now we could see. Because I like, you know what I'm saying? I be seeing you, bro. You working, man. You working.
Before we jump into the interview, right, and we get into the Negus 101, and I seen all the bars and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Can I give a Black History, John?
You a freestyle, John?
No, I'm gonna give a poem.
A poem?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. Shout out everybody. Happy Black History Month. May you properly be celebrating it. May you understand that everything that we went through in this world to become what we are today, it was necessary and unnecessary at the same time. But when you sit there and really think about the people like the Barack Obamas, the Carter G. Woodsons of the world, the man who founded Black History Month, the Thurgood Marshalls, just recognize their story because we stand on the shoulders of giants. All right. With that said, here comes the poem. I said, a man spoke of emancipation for workers of sanitation and cleaning up segregation left a king assassinated. They say X marks the spot, so on that platform he was shot in that Harlem ballroom while his own people watched. I wrote this for MMG, Marcus Messiah Garvey, who told truth in his stories, but who can you trust when the people that you love are the ones setting you up? They say they there from the gun bust, but will they be there when the smoke clear? Or scatter like roaches and vanish in the thin air? Weight so heavy on my heart that I got thin hair. I just want to live legendary like those we celebrate in February. How could you believe I was going to stay in captivity? Got the spirit of Huey Newton and Bobby Seale spewing up out of me. So this little light of mine going to turn into my legacy. Could care less if you atheist, you still going to believe in me. I am the truth that you seek, your way up out of poverty. Kings and queens, I encourage you all for your prophecy. Step into your rightful place, your destiny awaits. Only thing standing between you and legacy is space. Yeah. Happy Black History Month.
The thing that stands between you and legacy is space.
That's it, man. That's it. What we up here discussing is Negus 101. Every Monday at the Urban Art Gallery, I run a program called Negus 101 where I talk to the youth about a particular African American. About a particular African American. So I've did Fred Hampton. I've done Mansa Musa. This week coming up, we are going to do Carter G. Woodson, the Honorable Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the man who founded Black History Month. Right? Fun fact, before we really get into this, it bothers me when people be like, oh, they're going to give us the shortest month of the year. Why they do us like that? It's a reason why Black History Month is in February. Carter G. Woodson could have picked any month he wanted. He could have picked a month with 31 days in it. He picked February because it's Abraham Lincoln's and it's Frederick Douglass' birthdays are in those months. Well, Frederick Douglass' alleged birthday because, when you was born a slave, you didn't have a birth certificate.
Right.
So he picked February. to be his birthday. So he put it there to honor those two men for what they did, or quote unquote what Abraham Lincoln did. But we can go from there.
quote unquote. It's crazy the things that we learning as kids, or the things that we learned when we were coming up, and then what we found out as we grew up.
No, real. That's real. The reality of it is history is written by the victor. Right. So it's a lot like you hear about Nat Turners, you hear about Toussaint Lavert and the Haitian Revolution, you hear about Gabriel Prosser, Harriet Tubman, and these little small rebellions, not even small, because anything that you did to conquer your oppressor or defeat your oppressor is a major thing. But we hear about these limited rebellions. It was probably a ton of us that was fighting back.
Right.
But guess what? If we don't win, our story is never going to get told.
Nobody know about the loser. Nobody care about who lost the Super Bowl.
Come on,
For real, nobody care.
That's serious. That's definitely serious. And all walks of life, no matter what. But I always tell people it ain't about losing. It's about the lesson that you got from behind it. If you didn't win, did you get a lesson? As long as you got those lessons, you're going to keep growing and you're going to keep building.
As bro, so what got you, before we get to the Negus 101, but what got you on this journey? Just was it like, was it something that came about as you were older? Is it something that was always in you? Is it something that your family instilled in you? Like, where did this Tyree Evans man come from?
So the reality of it is my dad is a carpenter and a barber. So when we was coming up, I used to spend a lot of time in a barbershop. And in the barbershop, we used to watch like Hidden Colors. Shout out Tariq Nasheed, the DVD series. The old head Bobby Hammond, and like people like that. You got to see Red Pill, Blue Pill. Like you got to see this information. And I used to sit down and be like, these dudes is crazy. Like they just saying anything up there. And the more I start to study it, 95% of it became true. Black people invented math. Black people invented geometry, right? Like it started, you started to see all these things, and then you start seeing the inventions. Black man, Garrett Morgan invented the traffic light. Black man invented the gas mask. Lewis Latimer, the man who invented the filament to make the light bulb work, right? Because without him, that light bulb, Thomas Edison, is totally forgot about. He needed Lewis Latimer to make that filament for it to work, right? Like, and a lot of that stuff gets left out in history. So as I grew up and I went to college, I had this one class, and it was a military history class. And every time I went to this class, they would say nothing about black people, and we fought in every war.
I'm going to just say this real quick, my fault, because this is a serious topic, but a military history class sounds crazy, bro. I'm not, but my fault, bro. That was just on my mind. I had to get that.
So, like, you got like the Revolutionary War, the War 1812, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Korean War. It don't matter, right? Every war black people have been a part of. And this professor was not giving no game at all. Like, he was not saying anything about it. And it was frustrating. It was like, really, it was like, and mind you, I'm in the classroom and we at a HBCU. And it's like, bro, if you don't tell me something about somebody that look like me, because that's what holds my interest, right? That's why I believe in young people seeing black men. I believe in young people seeing black women in high positions of power in every position, not just high positions, so you can understand that people just like you can make it. But anyway, I came to class one day, and I forgot what we was learning, but it was a black guy that was in, I think it was World War II. With Pearl Harbor, and when the Japan's bombed Pearl Harbor, and one of the shipmates, if I'm remembering this properly, I think his name was like Sutton Dory or Dory. He was a black man, and he was letting that thing off, get Japan up out of there. And I'm sitting back like, yo, how we learning about World War II, and you not mentioning this man? Right. He saved a lot of lives that day. And from that point on, I said, I'm going to learn as much black history and information I can, so when I come across young people, I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to show them that not only are you special, but it's people who look just like you, who come from probably just as bad or worse circumstances, and they made a way, right? So you don't got to blame nobody. You don't got to feel bad about yourself. You don't got to feel insecure about yourself. Long as you recognize the power that you hold and it all starts with an education.
Right.
And right now we lacking, but it all starts inside getting an education. Once you get an education, that's the one thing in the world nobody can take from you.
No, that's a fact. And I like to tell you, when I grew up before college, I heard a lot of don't go to college unless you know exactly what you're going for, because you're going to waste your time. And going to college, me personally, and I want to know your perspective on this. Me personally, going to college, I wasn't undecided. I just wanted to get out first. I had to get away. I had to find out who I was. And granted, not saying I found out who I was in college, because that ain't even happened as a man, No, really. But how do you feel about when people say if you go to college, know what you want to do?
No, I don't. So
I'm happy you said that.
I'm gonna say no, but at the same time, I'm gonna say this: pick the right college at that point. Don't go to Duke not knowing what you want to do. Don't
check the prices and all that.
Don't go to Morehouse and trying to pick what you want to do. Don't go to Spelman and be like, I'll figure out along the way. You're gonna be spending a lot of money, and you so young, you really don't understand what that means at that point in time. You just happy to be in Atlanta, or you just happy to be, in wherever you go. So there's nothing wrong with it. The thing is, it's like if you go undecided, you don't get into your major classes in college until your third year.
People don't know that.
Right. Like, a lot of people don't know. Everything else is general ed. You are getting the general ed credits, a lot of electives. You are getting those things done. Your main classes don't come until your junior or senior year. But again, for some people that's on the fast track, like if you got a Martin Luther King out the bunch because he graduated college at 16, it's like it's about the amount of credit. So the most credits you could take now, I believe, is 24. Right, and it's
overload for me was 19. I had to overload 2 years in a row.
Yeah, just to get out.
Yeah, bro, I was
So don't quote me on that, but I remember I was taking 21. And recently I was talking to a little homie of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm taking 24 credits now."
Bro,
I'm taking his word for it. 24 credits is crazy. That's 8 classes.
Bro, I cannot fathom that, bro.
That's 8 3 credit classes. So anyway, again, so if you overload like that, then you could finish in 2.5 years or so. So it's all about your approach to it. Like when I was in college, I went to Delaware State University.
Shout out Del State. I got my couple family members who graduated from Del State.
I'm the youngest RA in Del State history. We was so financially challenged when I was coming out, as far as not like I come from a loving family and everything that much, everything like that. But when you come up and you sit there, my mom and dad didn't go to college, so nobody's practicing or saving money for real for college. Like we're not seeing it. So I had to figure this out. So as soon as I got to college, I'm working to become an RA. I'm working 3 jobs as a freshman. I'm tutoring people in history. I'm doing a history tour. I'm doing the campus tours. So when I started doing the campus tours, I started meeting people like Dick Gregory. I met.
How was that?
Dick Gregory is God rest his soul, man.
Right.
Rest in peace, brother Gregory. I ain't never gonna forget our conversation. If you said something to him that he didn't deem that you was worthy of getting the information, he would say that's above your pay grade. So the conversation, though, we talked about the assassination of Martin Luther King. We talked about.
And he talked to you about that?
Yeah, but it's more so.
That's above my pay grade, so I don't think we.
Yeah, more so I did the talking and he did the listening, and then he'd be like, hey, "You did your research, huh?" Right. So, meeting Dick Gregory was real rewarding because for somebody to be so bright and so in tune with the culture, but also just hilarious, just knew how to make you laugh. He had a joke. He said, a white guy came into a restaurant that I was in, and it was supposed to be segregated, but I still went in there and they served me. And the white guy walked up to me when I'm about to eat my chicken, and he say, "Whatever you do to that chicken, I'm going to do to you." So Dick Gregory said, I looked at him and I looked at the chicken, and I grabbed the whole chicken and I turned it around and I kissed his ass.
What? Yo. Hey, that's like.
I met Kevin Lyles. Kevin Lyles was dope.
Shout out Kevin Lyles. I've been to
that brother's story was good. Famous Amos. The craziest thing is the way I forgot the company that bought Famous Amos cookies, but his story is even amazing. Like I think he got like a 3rd grade education. Damn. Like I don't even think he had his grandmother had that cookie recipe, and they passed it down, and he just figured out how to get it out to the masses. That's it. That's crazy.
That's was destined, was meant.
Yeah.
Is always going. It's always going. What would Jalen Hurts say? Jalen Hurts said, like, honestly, and now everybody overly uses this quote, but this is probably like the best shit in the world about your purpose. You feel me? Not saying anybody. I'm sure he had different opinions, but I had a purpose before they had an opinion.
Right.
I had a purpose before they had an opinion. So I'm saying that to say, what was you said? What was the brother name? Famous Amos.
Oh, Famous Amos.
Famous Amos.
He had a purpose before they had. So what? I
so
only got a
then,
third grade education,
right. That's where
right?
I was going with that.
So what? I grew up as a sharecropper. So what? My life wasn't all sunshine and rainbows at the beginning. You know what I mean? Before you had an opinion, I had a purpose, right? And that's big facts. Before you had an opinion, I had a purpose. Now Jalen Hurts is a purpose of mine to see the Eagles win another Super Bowl, brother. Please, because I don't know. Tampa Bay, come on, bro. Tampa Bay.
All right, I thought I was over it until you just said that, bro. My shit just
Baker
started.
Mayfield.
Baker was looking like Peyton, man. That was Baker Manning out there, man.
Yo.
Ringo, Bradbury getting every. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Yo, that was Peyton Brady. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. He was off the roids. He had the Space Jam juice
it was
at
wide
halftime.
receivers. I think he never threw the ball to in the regular season. I'm like, what?
Getting busy, bro. I saw a tight end ain't have a catch in 2 years. Almost scored a touchdown, bro.
It was ridiculous to see it. It was shameful. But yeah, to get back on it.
No, right.
Right. Yeah, that's what anybody. But these young kids that I come across through any type of programming, Negus 101. If I got to do something at Pico, if I got to do something in Dover, if I'm doing something in Philly, right? Like you come across a plethora of different type of kids. Some society might deem great. Some society might say they're not so great. But the reality of it is that quote resonates. You have a purpose, young man. So I don't care what the DA say about you. I don't care that your parents might feel indifferent about you. I don't care that your grandparents might feel indifferent about you. I don't care that the teachers say. Let's address that. When the teachers be like, the teacher said I ain't gonna be nothing, right?
Nah, that's a real thing, y'all.
I don't know how real that. Like, do I think it happens? Yes, but to the vibe, because every rapper says the teacher said I wasn't gonna be shit.
Now the rappers do that. You feel me?
Like
but I must contest that I've been in meetings where now I haven't heard a teacher say that to a student, but I've checked teachers at my old job for saying that to their coworkers, to their peers, because if you already think that mentally about a kid, how well are you really trying to prepare to make sure that kid is successful when they're in your classroom and under your supervision? And it's just like,
no, I feel, listen. Let me push back real fast. From like kindergarten to like 4th grade, I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. No kid should ever be exposed to derogatory statements about themselves because they're still shaping their self-identity.
Right.
So they need affirmations. They need encouragement. Now, when kids start hitting like early teenage, preteen years, and they have an idea of who they are and what they want to do. So I don't know if you know Anthony Moore, the comedian from Philly. He moved out New York. But anyway, I seen this little bit he did, but I'm going to just paraphrase it. But being in the classroom for so long, I've been teaching for like 12 years now. So it's like being in the classroom for so long, you see certain things, and I always deal with older kids.
Right.
So, and I taught at alternative schools, I done taught at charter schools, I done taught at public schools. So I done seen every type of kid. What I recognized is the same way you be like, you shouldn't talk down. That's to young kids, and I'm not saying you should talk down to 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th grade, but you recognize reality. Like when because you'll turn around at the same time, you'll say, "Oh, remember Steve Harvey said everybody who came with you can't go with you," right? It applies here too. Then, everybody don't want the same thing, or like even if I pay attention, you'll see like. Certain rappers do interviews. You'll see Meek. Oh, I used to be on honor roll. You see Kendrick Lamar. I was on honor roll. So we recognizing is a pattern here, right? Their vocabulary, their attention to detail, their metaphors, their similes, their tone, right? They learned all that young,
Right.
and then something happened along the way. Maybe a traumatic circumstances, traumatic event. Something changes black boys' trajectory. Because if you study like Jawanza Kajufu, he wrote a book, The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. From kindergarten to third grade, our children are doing amazing, right? And then after third grade, by the end of the fourth, you see this major drop. And now and people have studied and say, why is that? From experience, I'm going to tell you, it's not anything based off the system. The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. But from kindergarten to third, your parents are your everything. So if you do wrong, they correcting it. By the time you hit fourth grade, you are turning into your own identity a little bit. So you start to identify, okay, I'm going to move like this. I'm going to do this. I like this person. This is what I stand for now. Now I have to figure out as a parent, how do I let them still flourish in their own identity and recognizing their self-worth, as well as if they get too far out of line, let me have properly get them back in alignment. Right. And I think a lot of us don't have the emotional intelligence right now to deal with, like, when you look at the statistics in this world, I don't just take education for what it is. I take the psychology of the world we live in. I take the economic structure of the world we live in. So if you sit there and think about it, if you hear a statistic like 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, how do you think, or if you hear the statistics of marriage in America, like 75% of people get divorced in America, it's like
they feeding it on you, kind of.
All those things are things that impact that child, especially if it's a young child, and if the parents don't have the emotional intelligence to co-parent, to talk properly, to say this is how we moving, guess what? That child is going to suffer. Right? Like I see people at one point you loved each other, and then people have this big fallout and act like they hate each other now. Now if something again traumatic happened, but if nothing traumatic happened, we should be able to talk and make this make sense. Right. Because it's not only on us or me and you no more. It's about this child now, or these children if you have multiple. So, and you got to understand that. But
a lot of people also having babies with people down there in light, you know.
Come on, man.
So, people had getting pregnant off one night stands or dealing with situations, and we had a lot of COVID relationships where time forced people to real talk. Like, so I was in a COVID relationship, being with somebody that, you know, and time, you think you spending so much time with this person, you feel like, oh yeah, the things happen. Now you got a baby with them. A couple months down the person, y'all there like each other, y'all find out.
So wait, but let's circle it back. I want to bring something, and you tell me your thoughts on this after I break this down, right? So, you ever seen the movie Lean on Me?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, shout out Joe Clark.
Shout out Joe Clark. Yeah. They used to call me Mr. Clark back in my days.
Mr. Clark. You know what I mean? But Joe Clark comes into this school in Jersey, and he is a inner city urban school, and it's drug infested, it's gang infested, and he turns it around, right? Like, it gets a lot better than what it was, right? I ain't gonna say it turned into like the top school or nothing, but he made these children believe in education. He made these children see that it was a different way. He made these kids say, you know what, we're going to have these things for y'all here, these extracurricular activities. I'm going to lead with love, even though it's tough love. Right. And my whole time living in the city of Philadelphia, I've never seen an inner city urban school turn around. If it was low, like, think about it. If you think about any school when we was coming up that was low, so if it's like a Bieber, if it's like
shout out B.
Yeah, but I forgot this name of this other school because you know I'm talking about elementary
Gompers.
schools. Well, I don't know if Gompers might not have been low, but it wasn't high.
Yeah. I went to Gompers for a little bit now. Yeah.
So what I'm getting to is something is broken in the educational system, and I always tell people when politics get involved, something is going to go left. Think about this: politics got involved with the church. Church looking a little different now, right? And that's no shade to nobody. Like, I appreciate all people. But what I'm saying is it went from being one way to now, depending on who your church leader is, anything goes, right? With education. With education, the political reality of it is when politics got involved with education, they start giving out all this different type of funding. Taxes start divvying up taxes to show where the money can go and how they can do this, and they based it off test scores.
Yeah.
But then you start to find out things like, well, a lot of the tests are culturally biased.
And they're not teaching what's on the
Yeah.
test and stuff for a period of time.
Right, and then, but then you'll tell the teacher will be in a room and recognize, oh, all my kids got a problem with writing essays, so we should focus on writing essays. That's what I would say.
Right.
Like, you know what? Let's focus on writing topics and let's grow from there. Now in this school, they're gonna tell you, no, you got to scope and sequence. You got to stay on track. We supposed to be here at this moment. But then at the same time, they'll tell you, you got to move the needle on the PSSAs. You got to move the needle on that map test. Bro, you got me burning this candle from both sides. Meanwhile, I'm trying to do that, and this kid has not been taught how to properly respect adults and respect authority. So
Or respect themselves.
Or respect, come on, or respect themselves. Because any person who does not want to be educated in any type of field, I'm not just talking about a classroom, I'm talking about in general, you do not respect yourself.
Yeah, right.
You do not see worth in yourself. You allow the world to dictate how it's going to treat you, and you don't dictate how you're going to treat the world. That's a problem for me. And I tell young people, yo, dream big, young people, make all goals lateral. Go up and keep going up. But when you don't see the value in it, because again, a lot of parents in this generation are broken from relationships, are broken because when they was in school, something might happen to them, are broken because
generational curses.
are broken because they don't have the financial income that they want, and they blame everybody else.
And this one, the new one, social media.
Oh, come on now.
It's different with our parents in these social media era.
Man, and it's I just want to get really back to a time, like in my program, I try to install in them, like, yeah, social media is great, but you know what else is great? Building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, real relationships.
Real relationships.
Real relationships. You know what else is great? Being able to be vulnerable with people, right? Because your vulnerability is your ultimate strength. Like, but you have to recognize that it takes years of being broken to recognize these things.
And a lot of times, bro, when we try to hide our vulnerable moments, we could block blessings like that.
Come on now.
I've received so many blessings just being honest, transparent, or just being not frauding. You know, living in my vulnerability sometimes.
Listen, when I start getting into like just self-care, healing, like, you know, go and get manicures or going to get a massage, or you know,
I know massages. That's all. We looking for a massage, man. So I said, we're gonna get to that.
But just taking therapeutic days to yourself, or getting a good self-help book, or just getting a good book, period, whatever book it may be, right? And you sit down and you really get in tune with yourself. Like, I remember the first time somebody said it to me, yo, how your day going? I said, man, I ain't right today. It's not going good. Because nobody expects, nobody cares.
Yeah, facts.
Right? But then the other piece is, that's one with the emotional intelligence side. Let's flip it. To be a man, and a black man at that, nobody give a fuck. Nobody care what you do, what you go through, what you had to do to get it. Nobody care. If it don't get done, you ain't shit. Right. That's the reality of it.
But they say nobody care unless
you
winning.
It's so much when I start seeing the duality of everything. Everybody here preach self-care. I see women preach all the time. Oh, self-care, take care of your mental, this and the third. Let you be in a relationship with that woman. Your self-care really ain't that meaningful to her because hers is not being met properly. So you have to start to understand the bonding in this. Like, a lot of people during COVID was trauma bonding. A lot of people was going through so much because you're not recognizing who you are. Right. If I can't take care of me, if I can't love myself, then how can I love someone else? Right? And if I'm not emotional intelligent enough to say, you know what, I thought this relationship was going to go somewhere. It's not, there's no hard feelings here, but we just going to have to part ways. I see you when I see. Those are the things that make us great. Shout out Donald Trump.
Hey.
Yeah, but that make us great, no pun intended. But we go through all these things, and you go through all these metamorphoses in your lifetime. You're going to change from an infant to a toddler, from a toddler to a boy, from a boy to a teenager, from a teenager to a young man, and from a young man to a full-grown man, right? Like, you go through all these level up and changes. You're not the same person you was when you was 10 compared to when you was 18, and when you was 18 to you was 25, right? Like, you elevate, and you learn how to talk to people, you learn how to network, you learn how to understand different type of things. My point in saying all that is as we grow in real life and are watching what's happening in education,
Mm-hmm.
really pay attention to it. When the last time you used geometry?
In school.
Yeah.
That was my argument in high school. Why am I learning this? I'm never going to use this in my life.
When is the last time you learned? When is the last time you used the Pythagorean theorem?
Man, listen.
Yeah. So this is my point, though. We as parents will say these things, right? Like, oh, we didn't need those things. So when your kid is in school, you're not really serious about it because you like, oh, those things. Yeah. Now. I'm not using it now. So if they fell in geometry, it's not that big of a deal. It's not the point of that being big of a deal. The psychology or the psychology of it being a big deal. Yeah. Because if this kid receives an F and it's cool, guess what? He's fine with getting the F now.
It's cool, fine.
Yeah. But also, I believe parents should start getting up in the inner cities and going to the schools and saying what they want to see. Right? I want to see stock market classes. Why did I have to become an adult to learn about the stock market? Why did I have to become an adult to learn about taxes? Mm-hmm. Why did I have to become an adult to learn about real estate? Right? Like, why are you, like, in all honesty, I'm going to be so serious, and this is no no shade to a gym teacher or nothing. Kids do not need gym. No. Like,
you don't think so?
They play every day, all the time. Like, now, if your kid is not playing, then something is, we need to evaluate that as a family, not as a school.
I feel like nowadays it's so necessary for gym, though, because kids don't go outside no more.
Again, that's the psychology of this era. That's not on purpose. That's by design.
I feel that.
Right? Because it's all a setup, man. It's really all a setup. It's multi-layered, it's multifaceted, and you really got to sit down and process what is happening to these young people right now. What is happening is they are not getting information that they find vital. Right? Like, a lot of young people that you might come across, you'll sit there and say, yo, what's your favorite movie? I don't got one. What's your favorite TV show? I don't got one. What book you reading? I don't know. Like, what are you being exposed to? Drill music. Yeah. So even if like I tell the young people, please, and I tell the parents, uncles, aunts, grandmoms, whoever you are, if you got a young person that you know, please sign them up for Negus 101. Have them come one time. One time. This Monday, we are doing Carter G. Woodson, and we talking about legacy. Right? Carter G. Woodson, and we talking about legacy and how to build one. And we're going to show you that through the life of Carter G. Woodson, because guess what? It's Black History Month right now, and he created something that is going to last till the end of time. He gave you a piece of something that gave you purpose, that gave you value, that showed you are important, that you special, and he left it here for you to the end of time. And if you can study his life and you can say, Dad, Carter worked in them coal mines and he went to school at the same time and he ain't give up on his people, I can do it too. Mm-hmm. Whatever arena that you want to go to and whatever field of endeavor that you want to venture off into, you can do it too. But it all starts with recognizing your greatness. So come see Carter this Monday, 5:30 at the Urban Art Gallery. You pull up, light refreshments is served, and as soon as I hit the stage, I get busy. And I speak to the young people at their level. You don't got to worry about cussing. You don't got to worry about expressing yourself. I want you to. All I want you to know is do it respectfully. Do it respectfully because you're going to grow. I told them about Leon Sullivan last week. The Lion of Zion, right? Founder OIC, was the pastor for like 38 years at Zion Baptist Church on Broad Street, like off of Broad and Tioga. You know what else he did? You know that fresh grocer on Broad Street? Yeah. He created that whole plaza. That's Progress Plaza. He still, his organization, his charitable, his trust owns it now.
We gave out some money last year.
But not only that. Once upon a time, he owned gas stations. Once upon a time, he had feeder programs that sent kids directly from his school into the working force because he had those relationships with people. This man was the first first Black person to be on the board of directors of a Fortune 500 company, right? He helped apartheid in South Africa. When you see a man like that who was willing to lay down his life if need be for you to be better. Right. We owe so much to the people who came before us, man. Because right now, I'm going to tell you what's going on. A lot of these young people don't even believe racism still exists. And the reality of it is Yeah, it's not blatant. You don't see them lynching niggas no more. You don't see them. You don't see no super viral videos of trauma and babies getting cut out of mothers' stomachs and unrecognizable violence, right? Like you don't see that. But what you do see is things like crack versus powder, right? 3 strikes laws. What you do see is student loans. What you do see is property taxes. What you do see is genocide, right? I said genocide, excuse me, not genocide. What you do see is gentrification, right? What you do see is lack of understanding. If I don't understand how to use intellectual property or how to label or make it real, bring my intellectual property into fruition. But if I tell somebody and they know how to do it, they take it. Right? All those things matter. That's a form of hatred right there. We have to understand that we still in a war zone. And J. Edgar Hoover did.
No, so we got
Oh yeah, but listen, J. Edgar Hoover did one crazy thing. He put out in a document that we got to prevent the rise of a black messiah. Right? What that is, they killed King. They killed X. They exiled Garvey. They exiled W.B. Du Bois. Right? Fred Hampton was going to be the next one. Fred Hampton, they killed him. They mapped out his house, had a rat, a snitch. Like he gave him a blueprint to that man's house.
I appreciate that movie so much, The Black Messiah. Oh my gosh,
Judas and the Black Messiah. Yeah, but in real life, I give you a fun fact.
Because I had no idea about that. That whole everything.
But that's fine. It's nothing wrong with not knowing. It's once it's brought to your attention, just listen to it a little bit. But I'll tell you something else. Chairman Fred Hampton's mother used to babysit Emmett Till.
What?
So you get to understand what he was around in his reality.
Destiny.
Right. So what I was saying with that is he was the last one. Damn Al Sharpton. Damn Jesse Jackson. Y'all never set forth the type of intestinal fortitude it took to stand there and be willing to lay your life down. To really be willing to lay your life down. Right. But like all the fun facts I can give you right now, I'm going to drop this one for Black History Month. The truth about Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., everything they tell you, he was a leader, a teacher, and a man of God, all that good stuff they get to the little kids. Yeah, that's amazing. But you know what else is? He went to theology school right here in Pennsylvania, in Chester, PA, where he got stabbed in the chest for dating white women, right? People don't know that part of Dr. Martin Luther King. People also don't know that Dr. King, before meeting Bayard Rustin, used to carry guns. Right? Not because he was going to use them, but if it became super violent, oh yeah, he was going to let that thing go. No, and last and final fact, Dr. King, when he wasn't assassinated on that balcony for everybody, he was smothered to death. Yeah. But at the hospital. But the reason he was on that balcony, he was smoking a cigarette. And a lot of people, when you study, show the real person. Show them so the young people can say, "Dang, he was out there smoking a bogey." Yeah, he was.
Nah, word up.
And now y'all make these people feel like they are not reachable. I'm gonna give you the unadulterated truth about all of them so you can see it. Hey man, I appreciate this.
My brother. Hey, hold on. They said that's 52nd Street, right?
Yeah.
The Art Gallery. You got the address for them?
Listen, it's on
Google.
Google the Urban Art Gallery, right?
And what time?
5:30. Doors open at 5:30. I usually start around 5:45.
I'll be there. I'll be there for a fact.
I look forward to that.
So listen, we're doing a special drop, all right? So make sure y'all pull up tomorrow. All right, tomorrow.
No, tomorrow's Sunday.
No, I done.
Oh, my bad.
Making me gotta edit more now. Hey. But no, make sure y'all pull up tomorrow. I'm saying y'all know what's going on. Negus 101, y'all. It's necessary, important, and like you said, what you say about legacy in the space?
Legacy. Only thing standing between you and legacy is space.
Only thing standing between you and legacy is space. Listen, I feel like that's an amazing. You know what I'm saying? I'm the hustler of the year, Lido Takeover. This not gonna be the first. It's not gonna be the last time y'all see my guy here on Takeover Files.
For sure.
We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all pull up tomorrow. And again, this episode brought to you by Ben Sturdy. Make sure y'all tap in www.bensturdy.com. We'll see y'all next time. I appreciate you, dog.